Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to the EBM Scholars. I'm excited today to be here, to be live with you and to share some few updates. Just as you can see on the screen, I'm having one particular document, and the document said if you are selected as a DV lottery winner. So if you are selected, what are the processes you needed to go about it in order to know what you needed to follow, basically. And today I'll be talking more about the interview, because today we are talking about good news, good information about the immigration news and updates. And speaking of the immigration news and updates, we know there are some people have started receiving some information, second notification or the invitation for the visa interview as DV lottery winners. So I know you are getting ready to go for the interview. The time is very, very small. There will be so many things in between, and my job is to make it easier for you so that once you get that second notification, you are ready to go for the interview, and you are going to get the interview and get the visa and be able to come to America. And in addition to that, I'll give some few hints to consider what state you need to go, because especially during the pandemic, we usually say when you come to America, consider maybe the bigger states versus smaller states, or the states which have high cost of living versus other couple of states. But now we have pandemic, so you have to consider the restrictions in some of the states. There are some of the states, maybe their regulations, the pandemic is very, very high complication in terms of that one. So how are you going to survive if you are hosting in that particular state? What things you need to consider before you come to the United States of America? So again, for those who are coming here, I would like to appreciate you, each and everyone who is taking the time to be on live with me here. But also, if you have a question, I will be here and there going through some of the question. I will be going through some of the question. But as I said, I want to make it easier for some people. But one of the things I would like you to make sure that you understand is there are certain regulations I will go to put which are general for all embassies to follow when they interview the person for the green card. But there are some of the processes individual embassy might impose in that particular country. So I would like to make sure that I separate the two, because one of the questions people are asking will be about the affidavit of support. So that I'm going to answer in that particular, that I'm going to give you what are the steps if you have won, what are the documents you're supposed to submit to KCC, what are the documents you're supposed to go with those kind of documents at the US Embassy. One thing I would like to ask from you, please make sure that in case you haven't been able to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do so, so that you can be able to support one another. So let me go directly to my document here. This document is from the Department of State website, which is called travel. The website is called travel.state.gov. So in this particular website, this is when you get all the information about how to submit your application, and if you submit the application, what next? What are the steps you needed to follow about that? So, few things. Number one, let's say you have applied for the green card and you have won. What next? So here you'll see, so there are a couple of steps. Submit the entry. This is what you have done in October last year, if you are currently. Selection of applicants. This is so the first step is applying. You apply. We have done application. Let's say you applied last year and you are waiting for the results. May 8, the results will be out. Let's say you applied in the year 2019, the results came out 2020, you are the DV 2021 winner. So if you apply, then here they talk about the selection process of the people. And I'm not going to, this video, I'm not going to talk about the selection process. So this is the selection process. After the selection process, you go, now you have won. So if you are selected, what next? So these are the few things I want to make sure that you understand them, but mostly like it will be to submit the documents to the KCC and the interview and after interview. What are the supporting documents? So obviously, if you are selected, it's very simple. There are processes they are going to put. I don't know whether it's the words are bigger enough, but I'm sure you'll be able to see them. I can zoom or make it a little bit. Okay, so this is let's go to here. You have been selected. Once you have been selected, you should complete the following processes as soon as possible. Once you are selected, number one is to fill the DSC 260, the visa form, if you are outside of the United States. But if you are in the United States, you fill the adjustment of status form. So that is something you need to do. After that, you wait. Okay, these are simple things. Confirm your qualifications, meaning you have at least high school education or 2 years of work experience. I talked yesterday on the video about work experience. How is it required? How do you feel the work experience? I already talked about that one. That is to confirm your experience. Then you submit your visa application, DSC 260. For those who are supposed to file it, you are supposed to submit your DSC 260, and if you are in the United States, you are going to submit what is called the adjustment of status, form number I-485. After that, you go for the interview, applicant interview, and all other kind of things. But before we go to the submit the documents, so there are documents where KCC requires them. There are those kind of documents. Those documents are very, very important, because without those documents, you will not be able to be called for the interview. So what are the documents which are required? We call it supporting documents. These documents, you don't submit these documents anytime you want. You submit these documents when KCC send you, they're going to send you the email to request these documents. Okay, so these are the documents they are requiring. So the instructions have been saying, do not mail any of these documents to KCC, which is Kentucky Consular Center, unless otherwise you are told. Don't send them the paper documents. If you send the paper documents, they're going to destroy them. And you send these documents only if when they email you to send the documents. Review the information below to determine which documents will need to obtain. KCC will send instruction explaining how to scan and email the documents and any required translation after you submit the DSC 260. But you don't submit any time, and all accompanying family members. By family members, I've been talking. Family members, this means your spouse and children. Children can be biological. Children can be adopted by legal adoption by the court of law, not because you paid someone school fees. That is not adoption. And also stepchildren. So these are the documents which will be required. Number one is birth certificate. And these documents must be in English. If they're not in English, you must get the translation. So number one is birth certificate. These are the information which they require. I'm going to put the link in the description of this video so that you can be able to understand. So that is number one. Two, if you have been to court or prison, you need to have that document. Then, if you have served in the military, not US military, because you cannot serve in the US military unless otherwise you are green card holder, US citizen. So if, let's say, you are in the military, you are from Afghanistan, you are in the Afghan military, not working at the US base. Working in the US base, you work as a civilian, you are not in the military. Because I know there are people from Iraq and Afghanistan have worked in the US bases, or people from Djibouti, they are working in the base. That is not working with the US military. Working with the US military, it means you are working at capacity, wearing the uniform and giving the salute that you are US military or the military of your particular country. That is your job, not a civilian contractor. No. So if you have been a military, by military, not a police. This you need to understand. Is not a police. Police is different from the military. You have been in the army, you have been in the air force, you have been in the marine in your country. Then you need to have the information surrounding the information about your military record. Military records, certain countries are unavailable. More specific information will be you can be able to go and read on this particular page. I'm not going to, so they are going to talk about, you can go to your country and see what does that mean for getting those kind of military records. But you're supposed to get the military records. Persons who have served in the military forces of any country must submit the copy of their military records. It doesn't mean that they are going to deny you to come to America just because you're in the military. One of the reasons why they do that is because if, for instance, while you're in the military, your cases, for instance, if you commit certain types of crime, those crimes are not going to be taken into the normal court. While here they need the court information, this one they wanted the court information, but your court information might not be there because you're in the military. They will be in the what you call the military court. So the military court is different from the civilian one. So that's why you need to have that one, so that you can get the letter if you have been discharged. So even if you are not, whether you are in the military now or you are out of the military 5 to 10 years ago, you have to get the discharge document to show that you served into or you don't have any problem with the military at all. Here in the United States, when you serve in the military, they give the document which is called DD 214, discharge document form number 214, which shows how long have you served in the military, what is the branch, and the nature of the discharge, whether it's honorable discharge, whether that is general discharge, whether is any type of discharge. It will be that. Someone is asking a question. Anyone got the second notification letter? By second notification, we mean the interview date. Yes, there are some few people have started receiving the notification to go to the interview this March. So thank you so much, Hiva, for your question. Let me continue. Then there is a police record. Military, then there is a police record. This is very, very important on the police record. Why? They need to you need to make sure that your police record, you must, if you have, first of all, you must be residing in that particular country for 6 months and above. Let's say you are citizen of Ghana. You went to Tanzania and you stayed for 5 months. You don't need a police record from Tanzania. But if you stayed, whether for vacation, whether for job, whether for any reason, for 6 months in a country, you must get the police clearance from that one. So that's number one. Who needs to get that one? Number one is any person you have lived in the, first of all, your country, obviously of nationality, if you have lived there at the age of 16 and above. So if you lived in a country for 6 months, you are 14, you don't need to have this record. But after the age of 16 and above, and you have lived in that particular country for 6 months and above, you must get. Then the police authorities of that locality. People have been asking me, what if I get to the Interpol? People by Interpol, they know it's international police. No. You need to have a police record of that particular country. So if you have lived in Ghana, you need to have that one. If you lived in Sudan, you need to have that one. If you lived in US, you have the. If you lived in Oman or Yemen, whatever country you are, as long as you are at the age of 16 and above, that's number one. But number two will be, apart from 16 and above, you lived in that one for 6 months and above. So it doesn't matter that you lived last year or you lived 20 years ago. So that is something you need to understand. So those are the few things you need to understand. You need to have that one. So don't tell me, what if I cannot? I was in Dubai and I cannot go back. If you don't submit this form, you are not going to be given the visa. Simple and clear. It is your responsibility to get this type of form. Whether you'll be able to do like this way, whether you'll be able to go to the website of the police of that particular country, if you don't live in that country anymore, whether you'll be able to go to do something like whether you'll be able to go to the embassy of that particular country to ask for that, whether you need to travel back to that country to get it, do whatever it takes to get the police record. Without this police record, you are not going to be coming to America. They are not going to take the risk of bringing someone who we are not so sure whether this person will be able to. Maybe you're a criminal. Why should you bring someone who we cannot so sure who is this person? So let's make sure that, don't tell me, I don't live in that country anymore. Get into the plane, go and get it. If you want to come to America, make sure that they have to be sure that you are not criminal to come to America. Simple like that. We need to make sure that this is mandatory. But the other related question might be, but what if I submitted this form to KCC, but now it has expired while I'm waiting for the interview? That is not clear, because if you submit that one, you can use the same one. But my advice will be, if you have the possibility of getting also the newer one, yes, you have the one which you send to KCC, and if you have the updated one, the current one, go with both of them if possible. They will not deny you if you submitted to KCC, but the day you're going to the interview, that form has expired, the clearance has expired, but because KCC has already tracked and said it is good to go. So when you go to the embassy, if it is expired, they will not deny you the visa. What they will say is, if they want more, they will say, can you get the updated one? They will not deny you the visa. But not going without it at all, they're not going to give you the visa. So that is something you need to understand. What does that mean? So that is another document you need to have. Then obviously you need to have your passport. By your passport, we mean we needed to have what we call the passport page, the page which has your photo, name, nationality, passport number, expiration date, and everything. But remember, if you use a passport on the application for the DV lottery and that passport has expired, you need to go with that passport and the new passport too. If you use the temporary passport, those short-term passport, you need to go with the other one and the newer one. If you are going to you submit that one, you need to show, because they have to prove you are the same person who applied for the DV lottery. If the passport has been stolen, you have to be able to prove that. So those are the few things you need to know. But something else you need to understand. So on all these documents, there is no document here which is called the Affidavit of Support. There is no that document. So that is the supporting documents you need. On the interview, also you need to you have to wait for the visa bulletin. Yes, we know there is a visa bulletin, but also one important, when you are prepared for the interview, there are things you need to do: the medical, review the documents you have, and all those kind of things you need to have, what you're supposed to have. I will put this one there. But if you have lived in the US before and you are deported, there are other documents they need. That's when they call the documents about deportation. Then the evidence of required DV qualifying work experience. For the principal applicant, you needed to show the evidence. Yes, you have already submitted, but I will put the link on this video about the people we talked about work experience. You need to create like a resume, just like a document. It is not a must, but usually, even if you already fill in the DSC 260, but if you are going to write down your work experience, that from this day to this day, I worked with EBM scholars on this capacity, I had this training, and then I worked, this is my supervisor and this is my job description. You go to each job, just in case if they ask you, you can say, by the way, this is the document showing my work experience. If you're a student, you need to go with your transcript. Work experience or education, KCC the KCC doesn't require them to prove them. You are going to prove those documents at the embassy. So go with all the documents which are you are going to convince them that you have those kind of information. Marriage documentation and all other kind of things. And you need to have a cash visa fee of 330 per person, even if a child is 1 day old. You have to do that. So these are the documents which I need to say you need to have, like while you prepare for the interview. Then on the interview, you need to have medical results and all original documents. So I've been saying, in all these documents, all the documents which I'm trying to explain to you, there is no any document which says you must come with the affidavit of support. Why am I saying that way? That's why they introduced the public charge, because that is the form they can catch you or force you to prove that. But now the public charge is no longer required. That's why even if like, let's say if we go now here and try to find the public charge document, it's not, you cannot be able to find it, the document. If you find the public charge document, let me look. Form. So if you there is if you go to the public charge, there is that the public charge, that one is no longer there. Even the form itself, it has been removed from the website, so it's not there anymore. So the form is not there, so you can be able to go and read if you want this kind of information. But few other things which are very important. There is this what we call USCIS, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. This one is dealing with people who are in America. They are not dealing with someone who is outside of America. Someone who is outside of America is under Department of State. Department of State is responsible for the visas. People who are already in the United States are under United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. You need to know the difference. This is under Homeland Security. That's why the forms, if you go to look here, the forms which are, let me go to look on these forms. Most of the forms, let's say like, let me give the forms which are here. Most of the, like, let's go and read the form of affidavit of support. This form is starting with the word I. Form starting with I is under the USCIS. These forms are supposed to be filled with the people who are in America. If I'm applying for the adjustment of status, I'm in America, I will fill this form. If when I got married, I fill this form. But for people who are outside of America, they were not required to fill this form. But there are few embassies require this form. But what I'm trying to explain is on the documents required during the interview for the DV lottery, this form, the affidavit of support is not required. But individual embassies might require that. If the checklist of the particular embassy, you can ask for the embassy. If you ask them, they will give you the checklist. But even if you don't go with the affidavit of support, the form, my advice, don't go with it if they don't say it on their website, on the local embassy. Because giving it, you're exposing yourself. Or go with it, but don't show to them, because this is not a required form according to the regulation of the Department of State. Any form with the word I is not a form for someone who is outside of America to fill that form, because you are not under the Department of Homeland Security is dealing with the interior issues of immigration inside the America. Outside of America, you are dealing with the Department of State, with the consular offices in your embassies. In that case, you are dealing with what we call the forms starting with the DS. That's why when the public charge form was introduced, it was DS form, not I form. You see the difference? It's a form implemented by Department of State, not with the internal people in America. So that is something I want to make sure that we are clear about that. Okay. Let me quickly go to a few questions. Hi EBM, any update on KCC second notification letter this month for the DV 2021 winners? Thank you, brother. Nabil, yes, there are some updates. I know there are a few people have sent me some communication that they have got the interview already. So that is good news. There are some people that have already started getting that one. Henry Salamba, how can we rent a house in Missouri, and how much will it cost for a 1-bedroom? So 1-bedroom, it can be in Missouri, like when I say Missouri, Kansas, Ohio, Texas, Wyoming, all the states in the middle of America are very affordable. So 1-bedroom can be at least 500, but 2-bedroom might be 700. You know, like when you have double, it is a little bit cheaper, like compared to, yeah. But if you go to New York, if you go to DC, Maryland, you go to California, you go to Hawaii, in the middle of Chicago, within Illinois, you can get 1-bedroom for 1,300 or 1,500. But 1-bedroom can be at least 500, 600 maybe, something like that. And 1-bedroom we mean is a room, toilet, bath, kitchen, living room. Okay, thank you so much, Fadja, watching from UAE. Okay, I have a few more minutes because I'm on the break at work. So let me Sergi, thank you so much. Hello, dear EBM, the best one. I really appreciate for your continued support. Jonas, hi. I wanted to ask about you and how are you feeling? I'm feeling very, very good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate watching from Cameroon. Unbeatable Robert, thank you so much. Jonas, God bless you and your family. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. From Nairobi, I know. Careful. Pipeline. Thank you so much. Okay, Kwame Derrick, please, what kind of working experience did they need for the interview? I work at Ash Foam Company in Ghana for 3 years, and I came to South Africa and I work in salon haircut now for 2 years. Number one, there is a video I talked in detail about work experience. On the work experience, what you need to know, they need to know what kind of education or training did you get to perform that job. And then it goes to the magnitude of that kind of work you are doing. You might be working on a hair salon, but a salon just like with one person working there, than if you're working for a company. So all those kind of things, they are going to matter. So yeah, that is a good work experience, but also you need to show, like, did you get a particular training? Kwakumante Asiedu, watching from Kumasi, from Ghana. I used to watch the comedian from Ghana. One of the comedians I like from Ghana is Amankwa, that little kid. I don't know whether it's a little kid, but that kid is so funny. I like to watch him. Thank you so much. Ajon from Japan. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate. I'm the V2022 applicant, so I have a plan of getting married in July this 2022. If I win the V2022, will that cause me my visa to be denied? No. You have, before you feel the point you are saying you are going to feel you are going to get married in July 2022. That will depend. What if the results are coming in May? Interview starting in October. What if you win and your case number is a very small number? You are supposed to go for the interview in December this year. Obviously, you will not be married, so you cannot come with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. So you cannot do that. My advice will be, before you fill the DS 260, you have to get married. Or before the interview, you have to get married and apply to a DS 260 and submit the documents to the KCC. You cannot do that. And if you say, okay, let me get the visa and come to America, then I'll get married later, it will take many years, because at that particular time your spouse is not a preference of the American citizen. A preference in America, there will be the preference is a spouse, children, and parents of the US citizen. Jay Shunti, countries with a 14-day travel ban allowed to schedule interviews. Yes, you are allowed. What is happening is you cannot travel from maybe England, from UK direct to America. You can travel to another country and go stay for 14 countries, then come to America. That is what is happening. But you're allowed to do the interview, but you cannot fly direct. That's why my advice for anyone, even if, let's say, you are from Algeria, you are interviewing now, you have the visa, don't fly with the British Airways. Because if you fly with the British Airways, you'll go to England first. And when you're coming to America, you'll be considered you are flying from England. So you need to use maybe Emirates, use Turkish Airways, use the like maybe Etihad, Ethiopian Airways. Use the flights which don't pass through the countries with the pandemic restrictions. There is one person from Uganda, I remember I communicated with him. He came through at the time there was the restriction. It was back it was last year. Came through Amsterdam. And after arriving in New York, they say, no, you cannot enter because you passed through Europe. So had to go back to Africa, and the visa expired. So, but the good thing, he was given the visa again by the embassy, and then was able to travel. Live from Takoradi, Ghana. So can you now travel from Ghana to the US now with the H1, H2 visa, meaning working visa? Yes, if you have, yes, you can travel. But don't go through the countries like Britain. Can you now book for appointment now? The answer is yes, Solomon, but it depends also. Some of the countries, yes, you can book, but they put a very small number of the interviews. You don't book for the DV visas. They book for you. They give you the schedule. But if you're talking about a student visa, you're talking about a tourist visa, you can book on your own. But the DV visas, they book for you. You don't book. But if they give you the date, you are not comfortable with that date, you can ask your embassy to change to another date. Don't try to backdate your certificate. That is forgery. You'll be able to be going to be denied the visa. Hi, sir. 50,000 haven't received the letter from KCC. It has been 6 months since I submitted. You can email them, but they are starting now because they were so slow, because there was suspension. Now suspension is over. We hope everybody will start getting the letters now. Kevin, thank you so much. Thank you, EBM. Hello, sir. Umaru Kamara. Hello, sir. Job well done. Can you please give me an overview of the winner in the DV lottery from Sierra Leone for the past 10 years? God bless you. That will be a tough one. Let me show you here just quick one. If you go to this website, the website which I post here, there is what we call the DV statistics here. If you open that one, DV statistics, it will be able to give you the number of online entries, number of applicants, but the number of selected people for these visas. So this will be able from 2011 to 2018. You can be able to get this one. So if you open that one, for instance, you can go and see how many you are talking about. Sierra Leone is okay. So Africa, Sierra Leone, you can be able to what is Sierra Leone? Sierra Leone usually it gets a good number of people, all the winners. So I can put you on the link, then you can be able to do that. Fawad, hi sir, when KCC needed medical tests and the police clearance record, show me the be ready. Whatever. Number one, you must fill the DS 260. Then secondly, KCC doesn't need a medical test. Medical test is required during the interview. KCC, they need a police record, they need a birth certificate, they need a marriage certificate. If you served in the military, they need your passport. Then they schedule for your interview. Once they schedule for the interview, you are doing the interview. Then, before you go to the interview, you do the medical. The document is sealed by the doctor. That document you don't show anybody, you submit to the US Embassy. So KCC doesn't require that one. They require clearance, yes. What happens after your B2 application have been approved? You get the visa, and then you process you are meaning B2 the visa, like the tourist visa, or which one are you talking about? What is the barcode in DV lottery? In DV lottery, there's no barcode. The barcode is simple. Barcode is something like this one, just like this one, if you can see this one. But this one is in the DS260. It's not in the DV application. Yes, thank you so much, Jim Card. A barcode is just an identifier on the forms. Yes, it's just like if you scan this one, it takes you to a particular that one. Okay, someone is asking, Linda, can I apply the V lottery? And I don't get the question. Are you asking, can you apply for the green card and get green card? I don't think. But I mean, if you can apply, yes, you can apply. But now it's not application. Application is until the October. Melissa, you're saying I'm waiting on my I-130 interview since last year June. Now that the ban is lifted, what do I do now from Guyana? Now if it has been approved, what you can do, you can email them. But now you cannot do anything. They are going to schedule for the interview, or allowing people to start doing the interview. But I think the best way would be more about contacting them to check the status. I did a visa bulletin on October 1st. May I be ready for my? No, you submit your DS260 in October. Your case number is 51,000. So your interview, it will be, if you get the interview, will be around August or September, because that is, yeah. Have the 80,000 been approved by the Senate? No yet, Yusuf. I'm going to answer this one. What if you have a relative in the United States and you want to come there and to work? What is the process? Kevin, is not just you show up to your relative. Even if you come to your relative, you will come as a visitor. You can apply as a tourist or visitor, and you will not be allowed to work. You cannot just come and work. Even the American citizen cannot show up to your country and start working. You know, unless otherwise your relative help you to find a job with the company which allows to get staff, employees from outside of America, and they have to process for the H1 visa. I want to change my host address. Can it affect the process? No, it doesn't affect any process, Okari Vincent. I haven't received a request for the support documents. You can wait, they will send it, but you can just go ahead, ask the KCC to unlock, and you can change the address. But even if you don't change the address, it will not affect anything. When will the interview start for those who process in December? I don't know who are processing in December, but the interview, people have started getting the interview date. Thank you so much, Jim, for responding to that. You have to wait for the next available appointment date. Yes. I applied for the B2 visa in early November. When do I hope to have the interview? Marion, you go to your embassy. The website of the embassy of your particular country will have the available date for the interview. What are the open dates? So each embassy is different. How long does it take for the first notification? Because I submitted my DS2 in August, and your case number is about 25,000. I'm still safe. Yes, you are still safe. Rebecca, you can just keep waiting. If you excuse me, if it goes for more than a week, you can just check again. Okay, I have to end right now. Please, sir, what will you say about the 80,000 visa DV winners? Will that be effective from this year? Yes. If it's going to be passed to be a law, it will start effectively for the DV 2021 winners who are starting to process for the interview. Henry Salamba, one last question. Can we rent immediately we arrive and we can find a house? It's your money. This is America. You can rent a house even before coming. You can pay the money. You come from the airport direct to the apartment. No one cares. Jim Caddy, thank you so much for being able to help with all these kind of questions. You are asking, you are answering to Kaburia. You need to get a company or have a relative file in for you. Yes. Jimmy, you were the best. Honey Salamba, you might have to get some credit. Yes, you have to get some credit. But if you have to pay on your own, you'll pay to find the apartment. You'll get you have to pay the higher amount, what we call a security deposit, because you don't have any establishment up to this point. How many documents KCC need? We talked about birth certificate, passport, police clearance record. If you serve in the military record. If you have been to court or jail, that kind of information. Again, they need marriage certificate if you are married. Thank you always for giving up to date. So I have to end up right now because I'm going for can any someone with the work experience of only 3 years and the primary certificate? Remember, the minimum qualification tone is 2 years. So if you have 2 years and above, that's good. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I have to end now because I'm going for a work meeting now. Thank you so much, everyone. I have to leave right now. Okay, send email. Send email to here. I'm sending my email. And for those who speak Swahili, I have a YouTube channel, which is a Swahili YouTube channel, which is EBM Swahili. Please, people who speak Swahili, go ahead on that particular channel and subscribe. EBM Swahili. That is the channel. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate everyone. And I have to end the live session now. And until next time, bye, everyone.